screen. So I'll just continue from where I stopped. Okay, so we've looked at the data types, and the second assignment is just to add the data types to the ARD. So I believe everyone has done that. Okay, so let's move on quickly to SQL theory. All right, everything I've been explaining since, by the time you get into writing the programming language, it will just be spot on. Once you understand the basics, you just delve into it right on. So that's why I'm taking my time. So that when I'm coding and I'm writing, okay, this is integer, you're not like, oh, what's integer? You already know that will come on, that's the data type. It has to be there. It must have a specific data type. It can't have more than one. So things like that, you've known it already. And when we're just coding, it's just a safe sale. Okay, great. So SQL is a declarative, non-procedural language. So it's not procedural. That means you don't need to explain how to get it done. Just declare it. So what declarative means is that it means you write what you want to be done, not how you want to get it done. Okay, so let's take an example. Right. So for example, let's give instruction to someone to help get a book outside. So that's the person. You need to help collect a book from someone outside. So if it's procedural, they tell you have to follow these steps. Open the door, go out. Actually, before you go outside, you have to open the door. So you open the door, you go outside, then you collect the book, and then you bring it in. So that's the instruction to go get a book outside. But that's not what SQL will do. SQL will just tell you, bring the book from outside, please. I mean, that's simple. Just bring it from outside. So SQL is non-procedural, it's declarative. Just declare, do this. So you can see that it's very simple. So you're not writing so much of plenty code. Just know what you want. That's the specific, and that is why I'm taking my time, so that when you understand that this is what I want, you won't be confused. Okay, I want an integer. Okay, it's batcher. Okay, it's text. Oh, it's globe. Just declare it. Bring the book from outside. So we have other types. We have OOP, that's object-oriented, and that's what we use for Python. We have procedural like C and Fortran. So we are using, when you're writing code in C, you have to specify everything. Open the door, as everything has to be step by step and all that. Okay, but for SQL, that's why I told you, SQL is actually intuitive. You just know what you want to. Please, is that understood? I would like to check the chat section now. Is that understood? SQL is declarative, non-procedural. Okay, so I'm waiting for a comment. Please, do we understand the theory behind SQL? Okay, yes. How about those on site? Please, this is important. Very well. Okay. Somebody said I can't hear anything. Fioma, can you hear me now? Even yes. Okay. Those on site, I believe you can hear me. Okay, so that's just SQL simply is non-procedural. So moving on, these are SQL components. These are the things that it's nice to know. Not like you have to cram it, it's just for you to know. So we have what we call data definition language. So example is what we call create. So you want a database, you just tell SQL, create database, and you put your database name, and you already have a database. You see how simple it is. So it's called data definition. So you are defining what you want. So SQL has like 4 basic languages. We have data definition language, which is create, alter. Alter is to change. Okay, alter this table. I want to add more columns. Okay, I want to change the name of. Okay, I don't want customer name. I want customer first name. So alter. So just declare. Define what you want. Then drop. Drop is used to delete. So for you to delete a table, you just write drop table name. Simple. It is that simple. Okay, then we also have DML. That's data manipulation language. So example is select, insert, update, delete. You can see that these are just declaring. Insert this, update, delete. All this we are definitely going to get our INS30 on them. Don't worry about that, but we just need to know the concept. Then we have the TCL, which is transactional control language. Now, in SQL, what we call commit. Commit means you save whatever you've done. Probably you change somebody's last name, okay? You have to use commit to ensure that it is saved, okay? So what we call rollback. Rollback is, let's assume that you've been working, you've been changing things, and you remember that, oh, you made a mistake, but that mistake, you've not committed it. It's just like undo. You just roll back, undo. Now, save point. Save point is that, okay, I'm saving my work to a particular point so that even if I have any issue, I am sure that my coding is saved to this point. So that will go by save point. Then DCL is data control language, which has to do with your grants. Grant means it's all about assets that, okay, for this particular user of this database, you can only select and insert, you cannot delete. So that's what we talk about asset level. So if you have, for example, a salesperson, and you know that this person must not be granted access to delete, so that by mistake, somebody does not delete an entire database. So what the person can do just to check, okay, this customer, I can check, okay, I can change the name, but I can't delete. Then we have revoke. Okay, so if you have granted access to someone before, you can ask, oh, remove access. So that's revoke. So it's just that simple. Okay, so I'm seeing some funny conversation on the chat section. Please, let's pay attention. I believe we had following. So don't forget, we have DDL. You don't need to cram it. DML, TCL, and DCL. They're just nice to know, just for you to know that, okay, all these exist. Why I actually took my time to put it here is, when you go for interviews, they might just want to ask you, what are the SQL components? What are the ones on? So you just know them, then you can just, give it to them as you have learned. Okay, so great. So now we are moving on to SQL relationship. I want to believe you were taught relationship in your Microsoft Excel, but I'm going to reiterate. It's actually the same thing. So it's actually the same thing. Okay, so we have relationship one-to-one. We have one-to-many. We have many-to-one and many-to-many. So this is how SQL denotes it. So you have a straight line. So if there is one-to-one relationship, you have just one line, just demarcating at the tip. But if you have one-to-many, so you have one, and here you have like the down part of the stand. So you have like this 1, 2, 3. Okay. If you have many-to-one, you have the many here and you have one here. So many-to-many, you have many here and many here. So many-to-many is not advised. It is actually not advised at all. Okay, so if you would like me to explain the SQL relationship, because I believe you were taught in Excel class, please let me know. I will just explain it again. Please, are we following? Okay, so Collins is saying I should explain. Okay, so why is many-to-many not advised? So that will take me back to my whiteboard. Okay, so let me go back to my work. I'm going to draw this. That's our next assignment. You're going to add relationship to what we've done. So let me stop sharing and go to my whiteboard. Please, those on site, I can see you. Thanks for staying put. Please, can you wave? Those on site, please, I want to be sure you're following. Please, can you wave? Okay, nobody is waving. Okay, I can see one person at the back. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Okay. So we have our tables here. So when we talk about relationship, we're talking about relationship between one table and another table. So we can have one-to-one. You can have one-to-many. What one-to-one means is, if you have a particular column here that is also showing in another column, then that means there's a relationship to start with. Let's start from that. So let me look at my table now. I can see customer ID here. So let me then highlight, or let me just use this. Let me pick a color. So this customer ID here. This is another customer ID. So that means there is a relationship between my sales table and my customers table. Okay? Because somebody is asking this class theory or practical, you need to understand the theory. When we start putting our hands dirty, I will start writing all these things and be assumed you already know it. But you need to understand it. This is database design, which is part of, when you talk about database design, it is part of data querying. If you are just querying data, just writing code, but you don't even know how to design it, that's the minor. So I'm teaching you database design. Okay, so you get a firm, you're like, okay, we're creating a new database, and then you can design it for them and then start querying it. That's a big plus. So Austin, I hope that on that. So let me go back. All right, so the relationship between but if you look at your sales table and your customer, for every customer, you can only have one ID. But when it comes to sales, you can decide to buy as many items as possible. So here now, there is many to one. So if I draw a line joining them, here I have many, I have one. So this is many to one. That's the relationship. So let me check another one. Company ID, let me use another color. Okay. This, sorry, I lost my connection for a minute, so it's back. So let me use another color. So I have company ID. Let me clean it out. Okay, so yes, so I have company ID and I have company ID. So if I look at the items, I can have several items. Okay, Chineye, you're not following. Are you on site or online? Okay, I'm expecting a response. So let me just write the relationship here again. So this is one-to-one, one-to-one. This is one-to-many. This is many-to-one. This is many-to-many. So let me put one-to-one, one-to-many. This is many-to-one. Then this last one is many. Please don't mind writing, just I'm using my mouse pad to write. This is many-to-many. So one-to-one relationship is when you compare two tables and for every item in one table is the same as the other table. That's one-to-one. For one-to-many, for every one item, you can have more than one in the second table. For many-to-many, that means you can have more than one in the first table to just one in the other table. The many to many is you can have many here, you can have many here. Many to many is not advised because it actually can cause confusion in a database. For example, now just imagine I have customers with the same ID. So I'm not trying to check that a particular customer bought something. It will give me like 3 customers. That's confusion. I don't even know which customer that actually bought it. Okay, recap. Wait, you're telling me to recap. So I'm going to recap now. So we have 4 relationships, 1-to-1. So we're having 2 tables. If for every data, what's it called now? Data record. If you have many here, that means you have just 1 here. And I've given an example, your customer ID, which is a column here now. So customer ID here now for sales. I can have different customer buying different things. For example, let me just bring it down to Jumia. Okay, Jumia. So I can decide to buy a refrigerator today. Then maybe next week I bought maybe golden more or milk, and then I bought. But I have just 1 single customer ID. So yes, I can see Friday. Friday is saying that just like students. Yes. Okay, so I have so many records here, but I only have 1 here. So that's many to 1. But if it's just 1-to-1, for some tables, that's why I'm telling you to create your own database. You discover that some of it is just 1-to-1. Okay, just 1-to-1. But for this example, this is many to 1. So I have another one here, which is company ID and company ID. Here for company, I can only have 1 company with 1 ID. A company cannot have 2 ID in my company's table because I only have the list of all the companies I have, so it can only be 1. But when it comes to items, you can have more than 1 item rather, more than 1 item in your item because yes, you're a company, but you manufacture more, so it can be more. So that means here now, if I'm to link this and this, that means I have 1, but here I have many. So this also many to 1. Who can identify another relationship here? Let me clean this. There's another relationship I'm seeing. Anyone? So I'm seeing item ID. Yes. Chidima, thank you. Mayowa, thank you. So item ID, so I'm using yellow. Item ID. Great. So what's the relationship? Somebody said many to many. Are you sure? I need the many to 1. Keep it coming, please. I want to know 1-to-1. Okay, wow. So we have 3 different answers now. Okay, many to 1. So many to 1 is having 2. 2 now. 1-to-1 again. So 1-to-1, 2. Many to 1, 3. So we have 1-to-1 as 2. So many to many has 2 also. But many to 1 has 3. Okay, 1-to-1 has 3 now. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, so the right answer is many to 1. Why? I'm going to explain. So for sales, there are people that actually buy the same item. For people that like beverage, for example, milk, every month you can be buying the same milk. Maybe you like milk or you like Hollandia. So even if the weather changes or anything happens, it's that same peak. Even if dollar is now 1,000 naira or 2,000, you still buy peak. You won't go for that. No. Okay, so in your sales, you keep buying that same product every month. But that product ID does not change. It's still that same product ID. So I think I understand those that said 1-to-1, thinking maybe you just buy a product. For example, a freezer now, you can buy it one. You don't need to buy like buying freezer every month or Definitely, maybe one off. Yeah. But I want you to really, this will really help you to think and okay, what are those goods? For example, sugar, things like that people might want to order. They can do it. In fact, for people that like to consume, let's say Coke, for an example, they can even do it like every week or every month. Let me just put that out. So you are going to have many to one. So that's the third example. So let me clean it up. This is messy. So this is how I want you to do it. So let me pick my eraser and clean. So I'm going to do it again. So I'll pick my pen. So we do it this way. You ensure that they are in front of it. So this is many to one. Then item ID, you ensure that it's in front. You can decide to put it as shape like this. So many to one. Then this. Don't mind where my my shape is going. So this is also this one, this many. Okay, so this is how it will be. It won't be inside, it will be outside, but it will be facing it directly. It will be facing it directly. So okay, I believe we are following those on site. I'm really so concerned about you. To be honest, it's always interesting to teach, and you can always interact with students. You can talk. It's always fun, but at this age, we've learned to also learn online. I do a lot of learning online, but let me just say, if not 99.9% of my learning is online, and because of the age we are in and how things are. So thank you so much for staying put. All right, so Chukwuemeka, you're not following. So which part? Which part? Is it the relationship part, or where were you lost? Chukwuemeka Emmanuel. Okay, I'd like to have your response. Another person, relationship aspects. Okay, if you like me to explain relationship again, please, can you just type in the chat room? Or if you already understand it, just write, I understand, or explain. Okay, there's somebody with 599 tweet. I don't know your name. That can't be your name. Okay, please explain. I understand. Anything. Okay. All right. So I'm going to explain again. So we have 4 types of relationship. Let me drop my pen. We have one-to-one. So this relationship we are talking about is not between man and woman. It's between tables. Okay. So you have 2 tables. Whether you have one-to-one relationship, one-to-many, many-to-one, or many-to-many. So let's just remove many-to-many because it's not advice, and I've explained. Or let me explain again. Why don't we have many-to-many? Let me give a quick example. Let me pick my pen again. Just imagine this is customer ID, right? So in this your customer ID, you have 3 customers having the same ID. When you talk about one, that means that is only it's only happening once. For example, your ID card, maybe at school, or even this Enugu SME, if every one of you, if you have an ID, you can't share an ID with another person. As you are filling your attendance now, I don't know, but I believe you were given an ID, maybe 2023, Enugu, something. Yeah, even in school. So when I was on campus, I have a student ID. Nobody else has that same ID. So it's just one-to-one person. It cannot change. Okay? But this same me, though I have one ID, this my ID will be showing in different lecturers' scorebook. I just have one with the registrar. Oh, sorry, I actually from me. I have one with the registrar. It's just one, just me. But you see it showing in reference of my lecturer's book. So that means when I come to lecture courses table or lecturer, they will see my ID showing different times. So that means when it comes to the registrar, it's only appearing once. That's one. When it comes to lectures, just I can have my name in different lecturer, maybe up to 12 or 20. Okay, so that is many to one. So now let me come back to sales. Just one customer ID. You have just one ID. But in buying things, sales, in purchasing, you can purchase more than one. But in case you have a complaint on one particular one, they need to know, they need to keep record of all the things you bought. If you bought biscuit today, they will have sales record for you. If you bought maybe freezer, they will have another sales record for you. And the date you bought it. So that's why we have dates, the date you bought the. If you bought something, they will have record for you. So your name is appearing plenty times. So that's many. So, but if I'm not, but this same customer ID is also in, it's also here, but here it's not once, because it's once you became their customer. Once, let's keep example, Jumia. You just once, they will ask for your name, your details, you register once, you don't do it twice, and you have an ID. But in buying things, you can buy things like 3, 4, 5 times 6. So that's many in their sales record. So, but because it's appearing twice, there's a relationship. But what's the relationship? It means you have many of the records there. You only have one here. That's many to one. Okay, good. Clear now. Okay. So if it's now many to many, that means somebody is sharing ID with you. That is, if it as me here is many to many, that means somebody is having ID with you, which is wrong. So that means if there's a problem, there's a refund, and they're not calling you that, ma, you damaged this product. You're like, didn't damage any product. It's because you have 2 or 3 people sharing the same ID with you. So that's why many to many is discouraged. It's either it's many to one, it's either it's one to many, it's either it's one to one. Okay. I hope you understand now. For those that told me to explain, okay, I'm saying yes. Okay, great. So let me continue. So I will go back to my slide. We are about wrapping up the territories. So like I said, your assignment is, third assignment 3, is to add relationship to your ERD, your entity relationship diagram. So you also do the same thing that I did. So you show it. So great. The live demo is what I've done with my whiteboard. So moving on, let's look at the last thing I would like you to know is SQL constraints. Now, when we are creating tables in SQL, we are going to encounter what we call constraints. These are just rules or limits that we define on our column. Don't worry about the code you have here. I want to show you that when you are creating a table, create table. That's all you will say. Create table, table name. But in your table, you are going to be having columns. So in that your columns, you specify what type of data should this one be. Then you can now specify constraints. So this constraint is always, you always have it when we are defining our table. So it's very important to know it. So let me just explain the different type of constraints you have. Don't forget, constraints are just limits. So the first we have is primary key. What is primary key? Primary key is a unique identifier in a table. What unique means it can only appear once, just one time. An example is all this, your ID. And this one ID, customer ID, that's primary key. So it's a unique identifier in a table. So example, you have your ID, driver's license, your phone number. You can't be sharing phone number with someone. Okay, so we denote it as PK, primary key, in your ERD. The other thing is what we call foreign key. Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so primary key, they are those unique identifiers. And why do we need them? So that when we are looking for your record, we are not looking for your name, because you can have thousands of people bearing your name. Just like, for example, I want to change my name. I want to change my name, okay, from my last name, my dad's name, to my husband's name. I want to change it, okay. They will have to look for your record. So instead of them not looking for name, it will be an issue, because they need to modify the database. So that unique identifier is what they can just say, oh, with this person with this number. And that's why things like your NIM, BVN, it can be primary key, because you are the only one that can have it. So they'll just type. That's why when you go to bank sometimes, they just ask you, give us your BVN. When they type, or give us your account number, yes. Give us your account number. When they type your account number, they'll bring out all your details. When I went to complain about my payments, the issue I had with my ATM card paying, they just asked me for my account number. Okay. And they asked me, okay, what's the date? And they were, don't worry, the complaint will be lodged. So they don't need to be asking, okay, so what's that your first name? They didn't ask me for my name. They didn't ask me for my last name. They didn't ask me for my date of birth. They didn't ask me, you understand? So every database must have a unique identifier, because it will be easy for you to retrieve. So you're looking for a data that is 20 years old, somewhere. Your boss is asking, okay, so 20 years back, how many people do we have? So you already have, okay, this particular person, can you look for the person details for me? This person was a customer 20 years ago, but something is happening and I need the person details. Okay, sir, what's the person's ID? So and so. You go and look for it, and then you give it to your boss. So you call it primary key. So they are unique identifier. And I know that if you look at your table that you've done, if you are following, you would have seen the ones that are primary key already. So then number 2, we have foreign key. So what are foreign keys? Foreign keys is a key in another table that refers to a primary key in a table. Let me explain that. So all those columns that are appearing twice, right? That we are joining relationship, okay? In a particular table, they are primary key, but you see them in another table, because a table can only have one primary key, just one. I need to clarify that a table can only have one primary key. So when you see that same key, another table again, it becomes a foreign key, because it is a primary key somewhere else. It's just like, okay, I'm in Nigeria here, but I have another data abroad. So here is my primary key, but in the other data, it's foreign, because though I'm here and there, but I'm primarily here. This is where I'm really the unique identifier. Okay. The basic one you need to know is just those two, primary key and foreign key. Okay. Then we have unique keys. Okay, so for unique key is just like primary key. Okay. For example, if you have customer ID, see in customer, you have phone number. Phone number too is like primary key, because you can only have one. But you can't have more than one. So instead of you saying primary key, just say, okay, that's a primary key, but this is a unique key. It's unique because nobody can I can have 2 phone numbers. Great. So for default statements is just for you to set a value. If you are entering a database, for example, and you don't want that database to be empty, you so say, okay, so if this is not, just put 0. So that's the false statement. Don't worry about that. When we are doing an example, you understand all those. Then we have not null. What is not null? Not null means that this particular column can never be empty. And we always specify it for our primary key. In this database, once you are putting people's name, this particular place can never be empty. It helps us a lot, so that you are not checking your database and you're like, they didn't fill this part. Oh, why didn't they fill? I didn't even know this person's gender. And it's an hospital database. So when you are writing your table, you say, no, this gender, not null. So when the person is filling it and the person did not put anything, it will start saying error. So the person, you have to put the gender, because just in case they need to do something and it's gender-based in the hospital. Or, for example, genotype. Genotype must be not null. So in case there's a need for blood transfusion, you have to put it. So those are constraints. Then we also have the last one, auto increments. So auto increment means that this particular field will be increasing by 1. So all this we see in examples. So what you need to know here is just your primary key and your foreign key. So the fourth assignment and the last for today is you go back to your table and pick the one that should be primary, you put PK. The one that is foreign, you put FK. So before I take questions, let me just go to my whiteboard and quickly do that. I believe we are following. So let me share here. So here, let me clean. Okay. So for example, sales. So in sales table, my primary key will be this purchase ID. Because you can only have one purchase ID. Okay, somebody said, what do you mean by last assignment? Okay, I need you to add constraints to your table. That's what I mean. You know, we've listed our table, we've added our columns, we've put data types. So the last thing you will do is to put your constraints. Okay, great. So here is primary key. All right, but item ID. Here, it will be primary key here. But here, it will be foreign key. Because this items table itself, so in this particular item table, it is the primary key. Because the one that is showing, in case I need an item, I'll just look for the item number. But here, it's showing here though, but it's a foreign key here. Okay, don't worry, I'll recap the third and fourth. I'll recap. Okay, I'll recap. The assignment I'm talking about is what I'm actually doing here. So the first assignment is to create your database, and I gave different examples. I said you can do an hospital database, a school database, library database, any database. Then you list all the columns that is there. That's the first assignment. The second one is, so after you've done a database, add your data type. This is integer, this is this. The third assignment is put relationship, which is all these arrows that I've done. That's the third one. Then the fourth one is now put either primary key or foreign key. Okay, so that's what I mean. So here now, this is a primary key. Let me clean this. This is a primary key. Okay. Yeah, this is a primary key. Why is it primary? A company can only have one company ID. So you can't be, let's say, for example, Cadbury. So I'm a partner with Cadbury. It can only be on my list once. Though your products might be many, but for your name, it can't be Cadbury, just one. Cadbury, Samsung, Airtel, maybe Nokia, whatever it is, just one company. So primary key, a unique identifier. If I'm looking for a company, just your ID is what I need. Okay, but here you'll be a foreign key because you're not the main. This is not company's ID. You're already a primary key here, but we are now coming to it because you are showing again. You are now a foreign key. I believe you are following. So which one am I missing again? So somebody is asking, where do we do the assignment? Okay, so you can do in a sheet of paper, you snap, then you upload. So I'm going to form. So in that form, Google form, you see upload, you just upload this. So that's why I don't want to stress you at all. You don't need to be looking for whiteboard like myself. You can just ensure that it's neat, very readable. So now that you understand, maybe the one you did does not accommodate you writing all these data types. So you do a new one, just get a sheet of paper, write it, draw it, and link it. I just want you to understand the concept. Understanding is what I really want to put out. So that's all. You don't need to stress yourself too much. So, or you can just, if you can use whiteboard, if you know you have the time, you can do it. For to really understand that yes, you guys can also, you might have a job you are doing. Just get a piece of paper. You can just sit down, think about, okay, maybe where you're working, write it, link it, and send it. So that's all. Okay, so that will be all. So let me stop sharing and share my slide again. Okay, so we are done with the theory. I hope someone is happy. We are done with the theory. Please, are you following? So I'm going to help you if you have any installation problem. This is where we really dig into, because tomorrow we are starting, when I start typing primary key, auto increment, not null, you already understand what I'm saying. I'm already putting integer, Somebody's asking, how do we submit the assignments? What are we going to use? I said, what are we going to use to write the assignment? That's easy. You can get a sheet of paper. Is there a deadline? Yes. Tomorrow, I want to see your assignment. I'm going to send the link. Okay, what about the constraint for company's name? You want me to go back? Okay, I'm coming. I'll get back to that. Okay, how can we submit the assignment? I'm going to send you a form. It should be on the Google Classroom. As soon as I'm done with this class, you will get the assignment. You just upload. So get a sheet of paper. If you have a tab, you can actually use your hand to draw it on your tab. You have a tab, or if your laptop allows for, you can even use just something that will be very easy for you. Then snap it. Once you use a sheet of paper, draw it, snap it, and just upload. Very simple. So that's why I took my time. And like I said, nobody should do sales database. I've done sales database already. Please and please. I don't want to see sales database. Use another database. Use, I gave list of like 7 or 6 databases. I saw someone using SQL, and that was really superb. I love what the person did, and please keep it up. So now installation and setup. So do we have people still struggling with installation? So that if I know, maybe to skip this. Okay, Annie edit hospital database. Great. That's fantastic. Anybody still struggling with installation? You want me to take you through it? I'm free. Okay, so what was the problem? Okay, Chidima. Okay. Okay, so whatever I'm going to do now is the same thing that I actually did in the installation guide. Okay, but what I know is whenever you have an error, it will tell you that, oh, you might need to download additional thing. You might need to download additional thing. So just go and download it straight. Okay, should be them saying the PDF guide was self-explanatory. I really took my time. I did that guide myself. So I took my time to screenshot everything that can be screenshot. So if you can share, what particular error were you having? So what I will do is, this my slide it contains almost all what I'm going to be teaching throughout the SQL. So what I'll do is, for this part that we just did, I will just save it. So you only get this PDF file for what we've done, because I might need to update some other things that I'm working with. So So I'm definitely going to send it till this installation. I'm going to have it. It is asking me for username and password. Oh yes, Humphrey. When you were installing it, you wrote a password though. To ask you that you should put a password. So you must not forget that password. So it's just telling you to put that password that you set when you were installing it. It's very important because of the data security. Remember I said it. It's very secure. You can't just jump into somebody's database. So the username and password, username should be root because it's always general. Root, R-O-O-T, but the password is what you set, Humphrey. So if you can remember, maybe you've forgotten. Because if it's asking you for password, then you must have typed password somewhere. I had to type my password when I was installing it. You did not set any password. Wow. I'm not sure about that because there was a part you needed to set password. Maybe you mistakenly typed something. So how much time do I have left? Okay, I still have 14. So let me just quickly do a quick demo. Okay. So I'm going to just give me a minute. Where's my Google Chrome? So I want to go to the site www. Okay, so let me share my screen now. Okay, so this is the site www. Can you see www.mysql.com? So you go to downloads. So when you go to downloads, I think I've enlarged my screen. So you go to this community, MySQL community. Then you go for, this is for Windows. Okay, this is for Windows. So if you're using Mac, you need to use the one for Mac. You just click on the one for Mac, but this is for Windows. So you click on My Windows. So here you have two. So I actually recommend for this bigger one because it will actually save you time. So once you download it, you know that you won't have it now, because if you download this one, you can have issues with internet when you're now uploading it. Maybe you enter an error, so it will give you lots of stress. So I recommend it. So you download this. So to tell you to sign up, don't worry, just say no thanks, just start my download. So as you can see here, tell you to log in. You don't need to log in, just start my download. So as you can see here, downloading. Okay, I just want to do a quick one. Juliet is saying, can we continue tomorrow? Yeah, this is what, because we're going to be using this SQL tomorrow. I don't want anybody saying, okay, I've not been able to work with it or something. So tomorrow we are creating databases. We are getting our hands dirty with the data. Okay, so this will take time. So I already have it installed already. Wow, it's taking time to download. Okay. Humphrey, just screenshot what the error you have, where is the managing passwords. I'm going to check it, but I don't want to take much of our time. I believe there will be some announcement that each we like to give to the class before we end the session. This 10 minutes to 7. So I'd like to get our feedback. I hope you understand what a database is, database management system, relational database. We know relationships, we know how to link tables together, we know how to do a data modeling. Data modeling, if you really understand data modeling, it's you can apply for a database administration role. because you understand the concept, you know how to link tables, you know how to do that, and it's a plus. I tell you what I just thought is a plus. I could have dived into SQL. Oh yeah, let's just download, let's start coding. But I really want to understand it because understanding is key, not just in coding. Some people just want to code in Python, code in this. Do you even know what you are writing to start with? So the knowledge you have today is a big plus for you. And I really want you to, take time to, that's why I give you assignments. Try to design a database, and I would like to see your responses. So Uche, I would like to stop here. If you have questions, please, I would like to take it, or we can just go on to the announcement if there's any.
All right. Thank you very much, Sheil. Thank you very much for the class. I believe, guys, I mean, we need to just let's know that, okay, we appreciate our trainer. Thank you, Chinaza. So guys, come on, let's keep coming in the chat session, right? I believe we've had a very solid introduction to SQL, right? This is the foundation, because the things that she has shared today on, I mean, every design, every website, every data analytics work, every dashboard, it first of all starts on your piece of paper. That's why I was excited when I saw, I think it was, I can't remember the name now, who drew and then snapped his work that he did on paper. I mean, that's the base. If you can get that right, and then you do the assignment, you are on your way to doing a whole lot, right? As in from tomorrow's class. And so she has laid a very solid foundation by doing that outside the SQL environment. I believe we will not have issues when we get into the SQL environment from tomorrow's class. All right, so please fill the attendance form. Let me just quickly stop the recording for time.